within South Tampa. So yeah, the NFT purchase was the absolute most exciting, exhilarating, adrenaline rush transaction I've ever been a part of.
Because so just a little bit about you. So you're obviously an active real estate agent in Florida, and you also run a corporate leasing company. Is that correct?
Corporate housing, yes.
Yes. And
Yep.
so are all your corporate housing properties in Florida as well?
Yes, they're all in Florida, pretty much all through the Tampa Bay down to down to Sarasota County. We do some business in the Fort Myers area and Naples area as well. We haven't done in probably like a year or two, but we do service all the way down to that area of Florida.
Awesome. But yeah, I guess we'll just go through some of the questions that I had because I really wanted to find out. I mean, you're just a fully loaded real estate expert, whether it's natural disasters, whether it's multiple municipalities, counties, areas of Florida. You're an investor, you're an agent. So you've done it all, including buying the first NFT condo that you purchased in Tampa, Florida. So
Yep.
that's kind of going to be the subject of our discussion that I'd really love to learn from your point of view how that went. So I guess starting with, how did you find the property?
So we found the property. We did find it through MLS. We had been looking in that particular community for something, and finally one came up. We had been looking for a while, and it was perfect because it already has some walls knocked down that we didn't want to knock down because we'd seen some other units that were kind of closed off. But yeah, we found it through the MLS, and it's that area in Hyde Park is a very sought after area in that within South Tampa. So yeah, the NFT purchase was the absolute most exciting, exhilarating, adrenaline rush transaction I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was like you were making history while purchasing a property that you love too. So
Yes.
that's pretty incredible. And because you weren't into crypto before that purchase, right? You're a real estate investor who happened to come by a NFT property.
Yeah, exactly. So, when my husband read off the realtor remarks to me that it was only accepting USDC crypto, and I'm like, oh boy, this is how are we gonna do this? So, my husband called, got some information from the agent, and she, explained a little bit about the MetaMask wallet, and how to set that up, and that how we should go about buying the USDC, because that's how we paid for the NFT, was the US digital currency. And so we went through all that. She put us in touch with some other people at Profi to help us navigate how to go through getting the USDC, because we were having a real hard time with Coinbase. It just wasn't working out trying to purchase the digital currency from Coinbase, because we needed like 7 days for it to be put in our MetaMask wallet once we purchased it. I'm like, well, we don't have 7 days. Like, the sale's in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So Profi put us in touch with Autonomy, which is a digital wealth management company over in Singapore, and they had done a transaction with them before, and that's how we were able to purchase the U.S. digital currency, and then they were able to deposit the USDC into our MetaMask wallet. So it was, and the fees were gas fees were much less than any other, I don't know what you call it, any other platform that would sell the USDC. It was so cost effective.
Doing
And
the
they were
Autonomy
great.
route
I mean, they
was?
were, Yeah, it was that. If anybody's going to, if anybody goes through this process and needs to buy U.S. digital currency and needs it fast and needs it for, not a high skyrocket fee, definitely go through autonomy.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing to know. And with that process, did you just reach out to your bank and they wired the money to Autonomy and then
Yes,
Autonomy sent it to your MetaMask address?
yes, that's correct. Yes, so the autonomy, they did a KYC as well, in addition to, of course, Proppy and MetaMask. So they did a KYC on me also. And as soon as, they were, I can't even express to you how great they were. They were communicating with me over the weekend. And of course, they're Singapore. So our time differences are so far, they're so
Yeah.
different. I was working at 2 a.m. They're working at 2 a.m. Like, we're just trying to get this transaction done. It was fascinating how smoothly everything went with that.
Yeah, because how long did it take from like initiating the wire transfer to then receiving that crypto in your wallet, the USDC?
Literally, by the time I sent them the wire, within 2 hours, that money was in my MetaMask wallet.
Really? That's
Yes.
really impressive, especially for such a large sum. Because what was the final purchase price of the account? Was it one?
The final purchase was 215.
Oh, 215. And so did you wire them an excess amount just in case
Yeah.
the bidding went up higher?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you'd kind of like
Yep.
set like your absolute cap and your
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so that's cool. So you still have some USDC that you didn't have to spend.
Sure do.
So you're a crypto holder. That's good. You can get some Bitcoin or some
I did hold some crypto. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been fully brought into the crypto community and a legend in the community
Oh
too.
yeah. Thanks, Tommy. I really, like, literally, I had a crash course in cryptocurrency and NFTs in 5 days. And my head, even though my head was pounding, I was just so adrenaline driven because it was so freaking cool. Like, I'm just like, it was just awesome. The
Yeah,
transaction,
that's amazing.
the whole process.
I love hearing that because it's something like once I kind of first got into crypto and then learning about like the NFT transaction, I haven't even gone through one and like I was so excited by like what this means for the future.
Oh
Um
yeah.
and I guess so as the buyer, like you've obviously purchased several properties in the past. Um and maybe there's more hurdles at this point, but what was like the biggest value as a consumer that came from the NFT sale? I know there's like the
So
transparency and
yeah, there's so much, just because it's just a unbelievable process. Between the transparency of, um, when you can see who's bidding, how much they're bidding. You don't have the song and dance of, oh, okay, you got multiple offers. Do we need to add an escalation clause, or do we need to go so sky high that we're uncomfortable? You know what I mean? So you can see in real time who's bidding, and then once you're capped, you're capped. At least hey, I went as high as I wanted to, and I know the other person completely beat me out, and I'm able to see it.
yeah,
There's not the guessing game.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and as far as the uh, the quickness of, processing the smart contract. Once the sale is done, the smart contract's done, and you're the owner of the NFT. And what's even more fascinating is the process that's done to be able to sell the NFT in the marketplace. So the NFT is done for the NFT, the deed, the title. Everything is completed. So you're buying that entity that owns the NFT that's affiliated with the address. So
yeah.
it's definitely, as far as seamless and a very seamless transaction. And I mean, there's just so much information and it's just so
Yeah.
exciting how these things work. I mean, I have some notes here too, so I won't forget anything because there's the estoppel. The estoppel's done before the sale
Oh
because they
yeah.
bought the condo. Yep. So that's completed. I mean, everything is done, of course, in the NFT name and everything's complete. So it's so easy just for everything to be transferable because they're just transferring the ownership of the NFT to the buyer.
Yeah.
And of course,
Yes.
the NFT, as far as the NFT being minted as well. I mean, that of course that has to be done after the entity is created. Then the entity is minted into the NFT. So the entity for this NFT, of course, was I think it's PNFT003 LLC.
Yeah.
So that's the entity of the NFT.
Okay. And since taking ownership of the NFT, was there any process, like, did you end up burning the NFT or transferring the LLC, or has it just been like that easy where it's like we own the NFT and now we own the property?
Yep, it was that easy. That we didn't burn it. We thought we would, but before we even went into the sale, but then we're like, let's not burn it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to burn it now because it's cool seeing it in the, it's a collectible, even though it's real property. It's a
Yeah.
collectible NFT in your MetaMask wallet. So you see it there in your MetaMask wallet as
Yeah.
the PNFT003 LLC. And it has all the property description. It has everything about it. And then of course, it's entered into the most secure ledger of the blockchain.
Yeah.
So it's not only that, of course, the inspection's done. Of course, they had comparable sales as well. You have plenty of time to do all of that also before the sale. You say you're not a realtor and you're just a general buyer and you want to get a home inspection before the sale. You have time to do that. Or if you want to get an appraisal, you can do that as well. You just need to get it done before the sale date. So you're able to do all of that. Yeah, you don't have to go by what they have already uploaded in Proppy or whoever's selling an NFT. You can get your own. You can do your own due diligence before the sale.
Oh, that's interesting because I know the seller will take the initiative to get an inspection and an appraisal done, but you can send in your own team beforehand.
Oh yeah, you definitely can get your own stuff if you want. You can definitely get your own home inspection. You can get your own appraisal if you want to do that. Yeah, you don't have to go by what they already have done.
Wow. Yeah, so I guess from the time it was listed on the MLS, how long of a time frame did they give before the sale took place?
So I don't know how we missed it. So I think it was 10 days. And for some reason, I don't think we saw it till like the third day on MLS. I'm not sure why. So we were kind of being newbies and super green to crypto and NFTs. We were really, getting down to the wire. So we really had to, pick up the pace. Yeah. but yeah. So they usually give about 10 to 14 days. So they list it 10 to 14 days before the sale. That way you can get all your stuff done in between. If you wanted to get inspection and appraisal and all that stuff. So
that's really cool. Yeah, and to hear that you saw it, you had 7 days before the sale, you held no crypto, were not in the crypto world, but you went through the entire process and purchased it you took ownership of it 7 days later. That's pretty crazy.
Yes. Yeah. So that was the one thing that was most worrisome. And if I can give any great information, it's this. So I would highly suggest if you need the crypto quickly and you're not a crypto person, you don't have, crypto in your wallet, definitely go through out to another source who can, like the Autonomy who did the digital wealth.
Yeah.
Was able to, because it's the process for that, literally, they took my information. I did the KYC Friday.
Yeah.
So between Friday and the weekend, Monday morning, those funds were in my MetaMask wallet and the sale was Tuesday. So we were like pushing it.
That's
I was so
really
stressed.
cool. Yeah, and to
Yeah.
utilize, because I know a lot of like high dollar value buyers of crypto will do like the over the counter transactions from the
Yes.
OTC exchanges like Autonomy. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I think it helps provide a level of comfort for somebody who's new to crypto too. If you're just like going on a DeFi exchange and putting $200,000 in an account, that would be pretty nerve-wracking. So the fact that you were able to communicate with people and let that transaction go through is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very, very, very exhilarating and fascinating. I mean, I will admit, I was still nervous,
Yeah.
but I was still nervous. I'm like, oh boy. But knowing, Proppy put us in touch with them and made the introduction, I was like, okay, you don't have anything to worry about, Gab. Just you're fine, and it was all good.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that you were nervous being the first, like that is
Yeah.
crazy. That NFT itself is going to be worth a lot simply for being such a historic moment. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like
No,
beyond the
it was.
property value itself.
Yeah. It's definitely been the most the most awesome transaction. I mean, being in real estate myself, it's the most awesome transaction ever.
Yeah. So will you ever have you encouraged any of your sellers to take the NFT route, or is this like a realm that you see yourself operating in as a realtor? Um, or is it kind of a one-time thing? How do you see that playing?
I I no, I definitely. I mean, if there's the opportunity to be involved in crypto real estate transactions and NFT real estate transactions, I mean, I'm all for it because it's new and
Yeah.
it's so intriguing and interesting to me. Um, Especially not being really involved in crypto. So I mean, yes, I can definitely see where this is going to be huge in the future. We have tried to, talk to some of um, developers about it,
Yeah.
about it's hard to grasp. And of course, I know as green as we are, it's hard to explain it, but we explain it as best as we can. But it's still hard to grasp. They understand more of the crypto side of it. Okay, I can buy and sell a property through crypto and it not have to be an NFT. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that part they get. They just can't grasp the NFT, which is okay. But I do think it's going to be huge in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like there's going to be some cool opportunity for condo developers and developers of that nature where, the NFT royalty system can be
Yeah,
engaged and really serve that purpose for the
for
residual
sure.
income. Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of like, as opposed to picking the apartment route, which is nice because you still get a little more residual, or if you, I guess, have the management company in place to run the condo complex. But I feel like the
Hmm.
NFT is almost like the next level in that evolution, which
Oh,
is
for sure. Yeah.
yeah. And do you think this will make its way into the traditional home sale at the mainstream level? Obviously, it'll take government adoption, but um, your experience was great. Do you think this will come into play?
I do. I just don't know when it will be. Because the NFT, you know, it's I guess my only not concern, but question would be how are you going to get a mortgage for an NFT? You know what I mean? And I think they're
Yeah.
working on that. So, you know, I mean, I know they're working on a bunch of things with being able to lend through with crypto,
Yeah.
and I know you can already do it with Bitcoin. But that would be my only, I guess, challenge that I can see as far as the NFT, because the NFT, you know, especially at a sale like that, it has to be at in the marketplace sale. Unfortunately, it can only be paid with some type of digital currency, or, you know, like a cash transaction almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be, yeah, so it'll be interesting. Do I think it'll happen? Yeah, it's just they've got to figure it out how to be able to sell homes in a general market as an NFT. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's reserved strictly for the cash buyers at this point. So for it to really hit mainstream, you're going to have to be able to take on some leverage to purchase these properties.
Yeah,
And yeah, and you're right. I
yeah,
think there's a lot of people who are kind of racing into this scene. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few years and who becomes the front runners. Like I know there's a couple companies that are like doing 100% collateralized. So like you can collateralize your Bitcoin,
hmm,
but you're borrowing, you're collateralizing 100% of that loan value. So
right,
even in that case, it's like most people buying a home, if they're buying a $400,000 house, don't have $400,000 to collateralize and then um,
right,
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But that's really exciting. And I think,
yeah,
I mean, I guess as far as questions that I had about the process for the consumer, I think that about covers it all. Is there anything else you can think of that might be helpful information for people looking to learn more?
Let me see. Let me just go through my. I think we pretty much covered everything as
Yeah.
far as what my experience was, and you know, just the whole process. it,
Yeah.
it was it was great. It was awesome. I loved it.
And what about finding you? Because I'm sure, people watching, I told you a lot of people from St. Louis love getting a place in Florida. And hopefully this video expands beyond St. Louis. So how can people find you? Social, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we're on social media, Channel Real Estate and Investments. You can find us on social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, Gabrielle Channell, and you can also find us at our corporate housing website, gmcorpsuites.com. You can also find GM Corporate Suites on Facebook as well. So we're everywhere. You can find us everywhere.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll share that information in the description and all the links and everything. So
Perfect.
yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. Everybody, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and keep an eye out for our next video. Thanks.
Thanks, Tommy.